A little bit different podcast world. It's Corey. We have an epic episode this week. I talk about the beach town in Brazil that I live in, Caraíva, how I got here, what it's taught me about life, what I've learned, and I bring you along on the journey to a beautiful little Brazilian beach town. So please like, subscribe, follow, share, and have fun. The next thing that I love so much about living in Caraíva is living simply, and that the people here really live simply and have different standards and different values and different objectives than most of the other places that I've lived in the world. So what I mean by that is it used to be primarily a fishing town. So that is a lot of the roots of it, and there are a lot of people who are fishermen and fishermen live very simple lives in the sense that they go out, they collect fish, they sell it, they don't have a lot of money, they're not looking to build empires, and there's a general sense within the town that people prioritize being with friends, they prioritize quality of living, and they're more interested in having fun and being present than in anything else. And that really affects me in a positive way. And it's so interesting, when I first came here, I was shocked that no one ever talks about work. No one was interested in what work I did. No one was talking about buying things. There's also, you can't spend money here really. I mean, if you're a tourist, you could come and go to the shops and buy the t-shirt with the name of the town on it, and you could buy a hat or things like that. But it's sort of like, it's a place where you can't even really spend money if you wanted to. And it's a place where it's not about money. Obviously you need money to live, but people don't talk about it. People don't really care if you have it, and that's not the priority. And even so, I noticed this, and I was in this environment for so long, and then when I came back after 3 years, I completely forgot about it. And I just had friends, like I noticed myself chatting with some of my friends who are in the same job now that they were 3 years ago. And maybe that job is like working at a beach bar during the day, 6 days a week from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. For half of the year, maybe they get 3,000 reais, which is in Canadian $700. So in American, that's less. And then maybe in the busier months of the year, they get 4,500, which is still less than $1,000 a month. And for them, they're so happy. They work in front of the beach, they have their friends, maybe they rent a small house a little bit further away from town. And that's what matters to them, is just being. People are more interested in just being light, being easy, being fun, being friendly. And the simplicity is always so inspiring. And I found this from all of my times here, there's so much of the world that's always pushing us to want more and to be bigger and to be better and to have more and to demonstrate that we have more. And being in an environment where people are so way beyond satisfied, people are so content and fulfilled, not having a lot of material possessions, but just really enjoying every day and being part of a community and having fun and being with friends and being in nature and living simply, it's such an incredible motivation for me, and it's such an inspiration because it's so different. The conversations I have with my friends in Caraíva are so different than the conversations that I have with my friends in Canada. And that's because in Canada, there's a very different focus. There's a much bigger sense, if not envy, of comparison, which exists, where people are always placing how they're doing in comparison to others. And even though these people have so much more than almost everyone that I know around the world, they're still upset, they're driven, they're not satisfied. And there's just something so nice about like, okay, I'm gonna go to the beach and have my beach job, and I'm gonna watch the sunset and chill with my friends, and I have a dog, and I'm gonna go swimming in the river with my dog, and I'm really, really satisfied with that. And that living simply model, again, it's like it's living outdoors, it's living in nature. The entertainment here is not going to the movies or watching TV or doing things like that. The entertainment is live music or making bonfires at the beach or watching the sunset or going for a walk with the stars. And this living simply has been deeply ingrained for me, and I'm very, very grateful for that, so that I'm so much more satisfied with so much less now because I've been inspired by these people that I've met here and what it's like. Another major source of pleasure and joy from living in Caraíva is really how rich this place is culturally. So Brazilian, I love Brazilians and I love Brazil. And what I love about being here is there is so much music and dancing always. It's a small town, it's a tourist town, but any night of the week you can go hear live music. There will be 3 places that will have live music going, and just going and dancing in the sand and listening to Brazilian music live, like I'm good. I don't need that much in my life to be happy. And I love all of the music that I get to hear. Also, dancing is a very, very, very big part of Brazilian culture. So here, as an example, they have a type of music called pagode. Pagode is usually like 5 or 6 people around a table playing instruments, singing. Everyone's around the table dancing in different ways. There's samba, which is also a type of music, but a type of dance that you can dance to. And then the big one here is something called forró, which in English sounds like F-O-H-O, but in Portuguese it's F-O-R-R-O. And forró is a dance with couples, and there's forró 3 or 4 nights a week here. And it's just it's like the camp social. It's like you're going to the camp social. Everyone from the town is there. Everyone's looking around at what's going on and looking at each other. And I've taken a couple of forró dance lessons. When I run my retreat, we're going to do forró dance lessons, and we're going to go to a forró as well. But it's just like I had such a nice moment Monday night. I was dancing with a friend and I was looking around the room, and all the Brazilians are so cute and dancing and bobbing their heads, and their feet are moving so quickly. And I just thought, like, this is a dream world. I love this place. I love being in here. I love that this is what happens on Monday night. And, I don't drink, I don't smoke. I'm totally present. It's not about getting messed up and going out to have fun. It's just being part of the culture. And in addition to that, in Caraíva, there's the town of Caraíva, and then there's something called the Aldeia Xandó, which is the Aboriginal community that lives here. And there's a division where Caraíva ends and the Aldeia Xandó begins. The Aboriginal group is called the Pataxó people, Pataxó. And the Pataxó culture is beautiful and so strong, and my friends at the gym are Pataxó, and the leader of the community is a guy named Mahudo, who's like 5'6", 260 pounds, just like so jacked. And he's such a funny character, and he's always smiling. And it's just so interesting to participate in this community and to spend a lot of time in the Xandó community, walking around and having friends and seeing different tattoos. And for example, this morning at the gym, someone was taking rapé, which is when they inhale, I don't know what the substance is, but they inhale a substance through their nose for focus and clarity. And it's like, yeah, this is real. It's like the Wild West in some particular way. And I have so many friends who are part of the Pataxó community, and I've participated in experiences with them. And even this past weekend, now in Brazil, in the month of June, there's festivals for Juninho, and we celebrated the festival of São Pedro, who I believe is the patron saint for fishermen. And the São Pedro celebration was taking place in Xandó. And it was just like, it was live music, it was a community event. It honestly looked like something from The Godfather in Sicily, like very old country, and beautiful designs and tons of traditions and everybody dancing. And I just looked around, I'm like, I'm so happy to be in this place and to have this experience. And there's the amazing indigenous culture, there's music, there's obviously Brazilian culture, and like I learned Portuguese here. And I learned Portuguese here because nobody speaks English, which leads me to the next thing that I love most about being here and part of what makes Caraíva so special. So when I really add all of it up and I think about all of the places in the world that I've been to and that I visited and countries I've lived and towns I've gone to, firstly, Caraíva's incomparable. Like I've never been to another place that's like this place. One of the things that I love so much about this town is that there really aren't that many foreigners that are here. There's obviously a lot of Brazilians. Most of the Brazilians are from Belo Horizonte, Brasilia, Sao Paulo, or Rio, or Goiás, but most of them are from those major 4 towns. And I honestly have to say 99% of the people here are Brazilians. And what I love about that is like, I really feel like I'm living in a different world and on a different planet. And even more recently in my experiences in Mexico and my experiences in Indonesia, those places are amazing and so cool and have delicious food. And there's every place has something that makes it unique. But what I love about here is that like I'm the gringo. All of my friends. I'm staying at my friend Pedrinho's house. His friend Alini staying with us. Before it was his friend Thiago. Like everyone who I see on a daily basis. Every single person at the gym today. Everyone who I bumped into on the street. When I went to the bakery to get a green juice. When I was walking on the beach. When I visited some friends. Everyone's Brazilian. I played poker on Monday night. Poker, it's just like it was 9 Brazilian guys and me, and I'm the guy who is not from here. I am the other. I love being the other because it's such and sometimes it's so uncomfortable, but it just keeps you so present because you realize how different you are than everyone. And I've never tried to fit in. I've never pretended that I'm like them. But what I've realized about myself is that culturally, I find the experience to be so much more profound and significant when I'm the one who's different and I'm living in their world. But beyond that, it really shows me what their world is like. Like I really know what it's like to be in Brazil and live in Brazil and have a Brazilian experience. As an example, the last place I was in Mexico was Tulum, which was amazing and gave me a lot of wonderful experiences for my life that I'll always take with me. And I mean that sincerely, I'm not just saying that. But like Tulum, most of the people I met were not Mexican. There are a lot of Mexicans there, but it's also a very international destination. So it's interesting. Like, can I say exactly that it, right? I hope you're following. Ultimately, to summarize it in the clearest sense, what makes Caraíva so special is that I get to be the only gringo, more or less. And I get to live an authentic Brazilian life. That's what it distills down to. I love living an authentic life in a different country. When I lived in Argentina, it was the same. I was in Argentina, I was studying Spanish at a university and playing squash and playing on a soccer team. All of my friends were Argentinian. I loved it. That's just me personally. That's what lights me up. That's what gets me the most excited. So what makes Caraíva cool, which would be different than an experience of being in Sao Paulo, as an example, is that I get to be the only one here. And not only do I get, by virtue of me being the only one, everyone around me is Brazilian and is local and living their lives, and no one's pretending to do something. Like it's a very, very authentic version of life, which just lights me up, and I'm present to that, and I'm really grateful to get to experience it. So the last thing that I really, really love about living in Caraíva, and then I'm gonna bring this in for summary and share why I've been talking about all of this. The last thing that I love is just you walk everywhere. I walk everywhere. There's no other choice. I love walking. I love being able to walk everywhere. It's just so, for me, I feel like a human being who lived hundreds of years ago, who just anywhere that you want to go or anything that you have to do, you have to walk everywhere to get there. I either walk or swim. I'm always walking or swimming. That's how I'm spending my days. And it's so cool to be in an environment like that. And when I lived in Belgium last year, I was on my bicycle a lot. And sometimes it's really cool to be in a bicycle. But there's something so calming for the nervous system about just walking all the time. And like, you can't really rush because you're going to get there when you get there. And like, you know how long it takes you to walk to places. And there's no sense of cars and rushing and calling Uber and this and traffic or whatever. It's just like you just walk everywhere. And I love walking. I love being able to walk everywhere. And it's such a unique feature of a place to live that it's something I really, really appreciate and love. To summarize what I've spoken about in Caraíva, obviously this is a place that I absolutely love and has changed my life. Firstly, there's such a strong sense of nature and integration of nature in daily life, which means so much to me. The people really, really live simply. It's been so cool being a small business owner, and I've had so much success with my business growing it in this environment, because the moment I close my computer, no one's talking about work, and no one cares about what I did or what I didn't do or what my goals were or what I achieved or what I didn't achieve. They care about going to the samba tonight and having fun, and then after going to the beach and making a fire. And for me, I find that I personally excel in an environment like that, much more so than in a bigger city like Toronto, where a lot of the conversations about work and who's doing what and all those other conversations. So the simple living aspect, especially being an entrepreneur, I think is really, really interesting. I just mentioned lastly, I love walking. I love being the only gringo and, the only tourist or the one who's different, because it provides such a local experience. And I also love how culturally rich this place is. There's music, there's dancing, there's food, there's history, there's Aboriginal culture, there's friendly people. It's a magical place. What I hope that you take from this, these are the things that matter to me about this particular place. This is what my experience has been like in Caraíva, in Bahia, in Brazil. My hope is that anyone who's listening, if you're ever traveling in your life and you find a place that really, really calls you and that you feel really passionate about, that you make the effort to stop. And when I came to Caraíva, I didn't come here with the expectation to stay, but I just knew there was a feeling inside me when I came here that this is a place that I should stay. And I stayed for 2.5 years, and then I came back. I was here for 2.5 years, I left for 3 years, and I just came back 2.5 weeks ago. But the point is, these are the things that light me up and that I find so amazing and inspiring. And for you, what you find lights you up and excites you is going to be completely different. Maybe for you, it's a place for you and your family, or a cool beach town that you love, or a mountain town, or doing whatever it is that you do. I share these things because Caraíva is a unique place and I want you to know about it, but also this is what lights me up and what I love. And I want you to think about what lights you up and you love. And even as you're listening to this, maybe you're thinking in your mind, oh yeah, that place that I went that time. And my encouragement is go back there. Life is short. Let's travel. Let's go to the amazing places. See what it's like to go back and create something. There's never been more possibility in the history of the world to live the life of our dreams than there is now. So it's just coming from a really impassioned and inspired place of being so grateful to share all of this with you. Obviously, sharing experiences and living in a Brazilian beach town is very, very different. The podcast is called A Little Bit Different Podcast, and we've included some B-roll with this episode of different images and photos of things that I've seen in Caraíva. But it's been the most different decision I've made from everything to live in a Brazilian beach town, and it's been the best decision that I've made in my life. So I've shared this with lots of love and with positive energy, and hoping that everyone who has ever traveled and found a place that they love, go back there or try a new place and see how it feels. And if you love it, just stay, because the point of life is to love the places where we're at. So thank you for listening. I hope that you enjoyed, and whatever you do, stay different. Peace.